We are delighted to announce that the Five Bells in Chelsfield will be reopening on the 4th of July in response to the government's easing of lockdown restrictions. So, whether you're one of our regulars, an occasional visitor or a newcomer, you need to watch this video in which we'll explain the many changes that are in place. It's fair to say that while the pub is open, it's certainly not business as usual, and we ask for your cooperation and patience in making this work for everyone. There are two fundamental changes that will affect all of you. As a result of social distancing, the number of people the pub can accommodate is far fewer than before. Firstly, you will need to book a table, even if you only want to have a drink, and you can do that by phone in advance or take your chances by turning up on spec. However, if you haven't booked in advance, you may get turned away, politely. If you're in the pub, you must be seated. No standing at the bar for the time being. The only exception to this booking arrangement is if you are happy to stand in the garden area, where it is easier to maintain social distancing, but please bear in mind that the garden may well shut earlier than the rest of the pub. The second major change you're going to have to get used to is the need to sign in and out of the pub. By law, the Five Bells must know who visited the pub and when. This will involve giving the pub your name, address and contact number on your first visit. On this visit, you will be given membership cards so that on subsequent visits, you don't need to give us your details again. Unless you forget your card, of course, so try not to. This information will be shared with NHS Test and Trace as necessary. Opening hours have changed and may well change again in the future, so do keep an eye on Facebook, Instagram and the website for the current opening hours. The pub itself looks much the same, apart from loads of signs, but they're there for your safety and that of your fellow customers, so please read and follow them. We hope you've been practicing drinking at home in the meantime, so you don't make a complete hash of it when you get here. When you arrive, please use the hand gel dispensers positioned just inside both entrance doors. Head for the bar looking out for the order here signs and you will be asked to sign in and shown where your table is. If you are sitting indoors in either bar and subject to staff availability, there will be a table service for food and drink to save you having to queue at the bar. If you have a table outside, you can go to the bar to buy drinks and order food. If you're ordering at the bar, you should queue at the order here signs which are positioned above the bar and observe the social distancing marks on the floor. Once you have ordered, you move either left or right to the pay here sign and you will be behind a perspex screen to make your payment. Contactless is probably best, but we can still accept cash. Please aim to keep at least 1 metre from other customers on your way to and from your table and avoid overt loitering. Food will be limited for the time being due to reduced kitchen staff, but you can either order from your table if you're seated inside the pub, or you can place orders at the bar if you're sitting outside. If it works, we will have a pager system for food orders for outside customers. You're given your pager when you've made your order, and it will buzz seductively when your order is ready, or when the bar staff think you either need waking up or could do with some excitement. To collect your food, you should return to the food collection point which is in the saloon bar. You must go around the outside as directed by the signs, and the food collection point is to the right of the bar and is signposted. You will see sinks in both the public and saloon bars, and we encourage you to use them to keep infection down. Please use the liquid soap and dispose of your hand towels in the bins next to the sink. These sinks are for washing your hands only. Don't wash other bits of your body or indeed dogs in them. There are gents and ladies toilets in both bars, and we are adopting a policy of one person at a time. So if you open the door and there's someone obviously using the facilities or even covertly using the facilities, please wait outside until they emerge. It shouldn't need saying, but please wash your hands after you've used the toilet. There are strict one-way systems in place in both bars. In the public bar, if you go out to the toilets, or indeed past the toilets into the garden, it's one way. You must not return through this narrow corridor. So when you leave the toilet, you need to turn right, through the door into the garden, out through into the car park and then back into the pub. This also applies if you're coming into the public bar from the garden. In the saloon bar, there is a one-way system through the French windows into the garden. These doors are exit only. If you want to come back into the pub from the garden, you need to turn left through the side gate and along the walkway back to the saloon bar entrance. If you wish to smoke, you can no longer loiter outside the doors of the saloon and public bars. You shouldn't have been anyway. Likewise, the area outside the French windows in the saloon bar is no longer a smoking area, as it contains additional tables for drinkers and diners. There are areas in the garden where you can smoke, but please use the ashtrays provided. For the time being, no child under 14 will be allowed in the public bar, but they are of course welcome in the saloon and the restaurant. There are places for you to leave your empty glasses at various points inside and outside, and we would encourage you to use them to help us. Both gardens are open, and there is only one rule: do not move tables or seating. They are spaced to keep you safe, and if you move them, we will move them back, probably while you're trying to eat. So don't move them. Obviously, your visit to the pub will involve being outside a great deal more than before. We have additional covered areas, but you need to accept that if it's raining, you're going to get a bit wet. It won't kill you, unless you're a witch, but maybe that's not a bad thing. So that's about it. Thank you for watching the video. Things are bound to change as we find out what works and what doesn't. You can help us by being sensitive to others and accepting it's going to be a bit weird and a bit inconvenient for a fair old while. We know you'll all approach this with your normal disgraceful good humour, and the magic of the 5 bells will be back in no time. Please help us to help you. Thank you so much for your time, and we'll see you soon.